Good to be with you today. I hope you're having a good day. Hope we can make it better with the Word of God. Pretty good possibility, wouldn't you say? We're still in the Olivet discourse, remember, where Jesus is talking about what's going to happen whenever he snatches the church away, and then there's 7 years of tribulation, and then that's followed up by the actual second coming of Jesus, and then he'll reign for 1,000 years, and then final judgment and a new heaven and a new earth. But anyway, we're still in Matthew 24, and Jesus says, "Now learn a parable from the fig tree. When its branch has already become tender and it puts forth its leaves, you know that summer is near. And so you too, when you see all these things," and of course the things he's been talking about, "recognize that he's near right at the door." So in other words, a tribulation believer, a person who has been saved during the 7 years of tribulation, for their sake, Jesus is saying, you see all of this stuff happening, then you should know that he's going to be coming back just real soon, where every eye will see him, and he'll reign on earth for 1,000 years. But then he says, "Truly I say to you, this generation will not pass away till all these things take place." And the first time I read that, I thought, well, wait a minute. Jesus was crucified and resurrected and went back to the Father, and all of these apostles that were listening to him died, so it didn't all happen during their time, during their day. So he must have meant something different by generation. You know, when we talk about generation, it has an exclusive meaning. I'm one generation, and then the next generation would be my children, and then the next one would be my grandchildren. And if you talk about chronology in our country, then I'm part of the baby boom generation, and then after that's the baby bust generation, and on down the line, the me generation, and things like that. But in biblical terms, a generation is a particular group of people experiencing a particular thing during a particular time. For example, in Matthew 11, when he was talking about people of his present day and time who rejected him and John the Baptist, he said, "To what will I compare this generation? They're like children in the marketplace. We played wedding and you didn't dance. We played funeral and you didn't cry." And they criticized John the Baptist because he didn't eat and drink, and they criticized Jesus because he did. He said, they're like a bunch of spoiled little kids that just flat don't want to believe. And he called them a generation. So it was a particular group of people at a particular group of time experiencing a particular thing. And so that's the point that Jesus is making. That the people who began experiencing that 7 years of tribulation, that same group of people are going to be there at the end of it, provided they haven't died. And of course, a whole lot will. He does it again in Matthew 12. They said, "We want to see a sign from you." And he says, "An evil and adulterous generation seeks after a sign." Well, not everybody in Jesus' time was seeking after a sign. There were a lot of people that believed in him. And not everybody was rejecting John the Baptist and Jesus and playing these little games. Some people actually believed. But the generation he was talking about was the people in a particular time that were experiencing a particular thing and behaving a particular way. Thank you. All done. God bless.